It's not toxic masculinity, it's a man being toxic. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity, just toxicity. True masculinity is the answer to that toxicity. When I worked in the mental hospital with the teenage girls, that's the only time I actively, consistently thought in my mind that people should. Not the girls, the grown men who was putting these girls through traumatizing experiences that had them wanting it.
Oh yeah, they said we can't say that. Maybe I'll be able to mute it.
Had them wanting to end their own life because of what they've been through. And it'll be like the mom's boyfriend, the mom doesn't know. Or the mom's so hypnotized by the boyfriend that she doesn't care what he does to the girl. And I see this girl comes and stays for 6-7 days, and then she go home, and a week later she's back. Because the same grown man.
Not even grown. The same grown man, the same elder man.
With a boy's mind who is abusing her and probably her mother too, a young girl, not even valuing the beauty of a young girl and what she could actually become if he was a healthy male figure in her life. It was stuff that I had never seen personally, or never put myself through, or been through, or known anybody close to me who I knew went through that, right? And I just would be angry. I remember my coworkers thinking that, oh, when I would be angry at seeing the same girl again or the same kid, they're like, oh, you mad at them for messing up again? No, I'm mad at the world. I'm mad at these adults that are putting them through what they putting them through so early in life. Like what do you mean mad at her? She should not be having to deal with that. The reason she's here is because adults around her are making her deal with stuff that is unfathomable, that a young person should not have to deal with, especially a pure young woman, a pure, vulnerable young woman who is supposed to be able to trust her environment and the people, and especially the people with more experience around her, is now being taught not to trust nothing, taught that she can't depend on the people around her. We need more healthy male figures. We need more healthy masculine male figures. The world has been losing faith in masculinity, at least cognitively, when you talk. That's why there's a term such as toxic masculinity, because people are losing faith in men and masculinity. Toxic masculinity does not exist. Again, toxic masculinity does not exist. All of the traits that you call in toxic masculinity are toxic traits. But masculinity is the answer. You only calling it toxic masculinity because you see men being toxic. But as much as men would call a woman toxic, you don't have a word, you don't have a term called toxic femininity. Why? Because men know that femininity is the answer to her toxicity. Men know that our masculinity brings out the femininity that is the answer to the toxicity. But again, the world is losing faith in masculinity, partially because of the confusion of terms like toxic masculinity. Every single toxic trait that you see a man portraying, exhibiting, is a toxic trait that is more than likely, in most cases, a lack of masculinity. It's not toxic masculinity, it's a man being toxic. A man doing something that is poisonous to himself and the people around him. if he tapped into his true masculinity and redefined himself as a masculine man, those toxic traits will be washed away. Why? Because masculinity is healthy, just as femininity in women is healthy. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity, just toxicity. True masculinity is the answer to that toxicity. Whether it be the masculinity of other men that come around and handle that toxicity, or be an example to that toxicity, or just that man tapping into his own true masculinity, his own higher self, his own higher mind, and washing away those toxic traits, cleansing himself, renewing himself. Then the world will be able to understand and appreciate the value of masculinity and get rid of the confusion of toxicity and separate the two. These girls need good masculine figures. Boys do too now, but we already know that. For some reason, there's some kind of confusion when it comes to older men and younger women. Treat them like you would your daughter, your sister, your niece, your mother, your grandmother. My mama asked me something that really, really touched my heart and had me thinking more and more. My grandmother passed away a few years ago, handful of years ago, transition. And my mother posed a question. She said, I don't know how you think of life, and I don't know if you believe in reincarnation or energy or how the spirits move, but just think of the thought, like, what if your grandmother returned to you as your daughter? Mind blown. Because I know the things my grandmother has been through. You know what I mean? I know all the things. I know, not everything, but I know a lot of what she did to take care of her family, to take care of her kids, her grandkids. I know a lot of shame and guilt that she held in her heart, and what she tried to hide from people around her. I know some of the reasons why. So the posing that question made me think of, like, how would I take the knowledge of my grandmother, what she's been through, all the pros and cons of her life, and raise my daughter to not have to go through those same things, to not have to deal with that same trauma, to not have to have that same guilt and shame on her, in her heart. How would I raise my grandmother to be healthy? Wow. Subscribe and we'll heal. Peace. Let's get it.